She's not here to save the galaxy, she's here to suffer for it. And Marvel wants you to feel every second of it. Shalla-Bal didn't serve Galactus to save the universe. She did it to save one world, and that wasn't random. This version of the Silver Surfer was designed to feel tragic, personal, and real. Every choice, every sacrifice, every scar cuts deeper than anything we got in 2007. And now that Marvel's brought her to the front, the question is, did they finally understand what made the Surfer great? Welcome to Heroscope. Stick around. I'll show you why this story might change everything.
I'm listening.
Warning, spoilers ahead. Let's clear the air right now, because the second Julia Garner was announced as the Silver Surfer, half the internet screamed, they gender swapped Norrin Radd, and to that I say, nope, wrong surfer. Try again. Julia Garner is not playing a gender-bent version of the classic Silver Surfer. She's playing Shalla-Bal, a completely separate character from the comics. She's been around since 1968, and she's not just a footnote. She's the emotional heartbeat of Norrin Radd's origin story. In the original comics, Shalla-Bal was the Empress of Zenn-La and the love of Norrin's life. When Galactus threatened to destroy their planet, Norrin made the ultimate sacrifice. He gave up everything to serve Galactus, all to protect her. She's not just part of his backstory. She's why he becomes the Silver Surfer in the first place.
Because that's what heroes do.
So when Marvel gives Shalla-Bal her own spotlight, it's not a rewrite, it's a payoff. It's like when a side character in a band gets their own solo album. You don't lose the lead singer, you get a bigger sound, a fuller story. And suddenly you start wondering, so what's the lead singer up to now? That's what makes this move smart.
Come and get your love.
Julia Garner isn't replacing anyone. She's adding depth to a world that never got a chance to breathe properly on screen. Compare this to 2007's Rise of the Silver Surfer, where Norrin Radd looked cool, but had all the emotional depth of a chrome toaster. Doug Jones did the physical performance, and Lawrence Fishburne voiced him, but neither got to act. They gave us a shiny statue, not a soul. The problem wasn't the effects, it was the emptiness behind them. With Shalla-Bal, Marvel isn't just showing us a new surfer, they're finally telling the part of the story that gives it heart. That's creative authenticity. That's respecting the source material.
And I am burdened with glorious purpose.
And best of all, it actually makes us care. And if you think Shalla-Bal is intense now, just wait. Marvel's not done. The moment Norrin Radd enters this story, everything changes. Stick around. What's coming could reshape the entire MCU. Hit like, subscribe, and drop your wildest theory in the comments. Now let's talk about why these two surfers exist in the first place, because this is where the difference really hits. The 2007 Silver Surfer? He was just a plot device, a shiny, mysterious figure who hovered around, said a few cryptic lines, and then dipped out when the real villain appeared. He wasn't a character. He was just a floating setup for the final act. He had one job, and that was to look cool. And honestly, in 2007, he did. He surfed through buildings, absorbed heat, and wrecked the Human Torch. But once he served his purpose, the movie tossed him aside. No real backstory, no emotional depth, no growth. He was basically the cosmic version of a shiny key that opens the villain door. Now let's look at Shalla-Bal. Marvel cast Julia Garner, and that alone tells us everything we need to know. You don't hire someone like her to be a silent CGI accessory. You cast her to carry a story, to bring emotion, depth, and intensity. And more than that, you cast her because she can be the center of gravity in a movie filled with gods, planets, and impossible stakes. If they follow the comics, Shalla-Bal's journey could be devastating. She might be the ruler of her world, forced to choose between saving her people and losing herself to Galactus. That kind of dilemma is timeless. It's not just cosmic action. It's a moral tragedy wrapped in silver. This time, the surfer isn't a messenger for the real plot. She is the plot. Unlike the old version, who just floated in and out with no weight, Shalla-Bal has meaning from the moment she appears. Her presence demands attention. Her story drives the conflict, and her decisions are going to hurt. That's how you create stakes that actually matter. You don't just build a spectacle. You build a person we're willing to follow through the fire. Now this is where things go cosmic and personal. If you think about the 2007 Silver Surfer, his story went nowhere. He arrived, flew around, zapped a few things, made some vague comments about Galactus, and then sacrificed himself. The movie ended. That was it. No backstory, no follow-up, no setup for anything else. It was a one-way ride to nothing. like a roller coaster that ends after the first drop. The stakes were flat because there was no future. He was just there to serve his purpose and disappear. You walked out of that movie not really wondering what happened to him, because there was nothing left to wonder. Now here comes Marvel in 2025, flipping the script by starting with Shalla-Bal. This is a genius move. Instead of reintroducing the classic Silver Surfer first, they introduce the other half of his story. Immediately, they create a mystery. If she's the Surfer now, then where is Norrin Radd? That single question opens up a galaxy of narrative possibilities. Is he still on Zenla? Did he make a different deal with Galactus? Is he dead? Has he turned into something worse? Or will he show up later as another herald, and suddenly we're watching two lovers forced to fight on opposite sides of the apocalypse? By leading with Shalla-Bal, Marvel has turned the Surfer mythology into a legacy story. They're planting seeds for not just one movie, but an entire arc that could stretch across phases. It creates instant drama. It builds emotional tension before the opening credits even finish. These stakes are no longer limited to stopping Galactus. They're about identity, legacy, love, and betrayal on a cosmic scale. This isn't just a story about saving a planet. It is about what happens when the person you love becomes your enemy, or your salvation. The 2007 Surfer was a dead end. Shalla-Bal is a new beginning. And that shift? It changes everything. Now let's talk about something that almost no one expected from the Silver Surfer: emotional range. For decades, cosmic characters in superhero movies have usually fallen into two categories. They're either walking weapons, like Captain Marvel, or mysterious space guides who barely speak, like the 2007 Surfer. What we rarely get is a cosmic lead who feels like a real person, someone struggling with power, pain, and purpose all at once. That's where Shalla-Bal changes everything. She isn't just here to throw punches in zero gravity. She's here to carry weight. Her story is grounded in loss, duty, and identity. She's a ruler forced into servitude, a woman asked to destroy the universe to save the only home she's ever known. That's not just sci-fi, that's heartbreaking. And this is where Julia Garner absolutely shines. She has built her entire career playing characters with complex emotions. She can show defiance, grief, power, and vulnerability, sometimes all in the same scene. She doesn't need a 5-minute speech. One look from her, and you know this character is carrying a planet's worth of emotional baggage. Marvel didn't just pick a random actress with a cool look. They picked someone who can make us feel what it means to be a herald of destruction, and that's a rare thing. Most powerful women in superhero films are written to look strong, but not necessarily feel human. Shalla-Bal gives us both. She's not a girl boss with a surfboard. She's a symbol of sacrifice. She's someone who could be your enemy, your hero, or your greatest heartbreak, all in the same film. And that emotional complexity is what makes her presence fresh. For once, the Power Cosmic isn't just about explosions, it's about burden. By giving a cosmic story a feminine center, Marvel is finally exploring the genre's emotional potential in a way they've never done before. This isn't about flipping a character's gender, it's about flipping the emotional stakes of the entire genre. Let's not pretend looks don't matter, especially when we're talking about the Silver Surfer. Back in 2007, the Silver Surfer looked impressive for the time. He was slick, shiny, and moved like liquid metal. The special effects were praised, and in some shots, he looked like a real comic panel come to life. But watching it now, the shine's worn off. The CGI has aged, the lighting feels off, and the character design, while iconic, no longer hits the way it did on DVD. Now imagine what Marvel can do in 2025. We've got Unreal Engine 5, AI-assisted rendering, deep learning motion capture, and Marvel's entire Guardians of the Galaxy team helping bring cosmic settings to life. Shalla-Bal isn't just going to look silver, she's going to look celestial. Imagine silver skin that refracts starlight, armor etched with energy flowing like constellations, a surfboard leaving a cosmic trail across space like a meteor streaking through a galaxy. And let's talk vibes. The 2007 Surfer had no vibe. He just hovered silently with a dead stare. Cool, but cold. The new version? Completely different tone. Julia Garner's presence alone gives off intensity. Her face, her posture, even the smallest expressions, all of it adds to the surreal, mysterious feel of the character. Pair that with a soundtrack like Dune or Moonlight, and suddenly the Silver Surfer isn't just a character. She's a mood, a walking space poem. It's also going to help that Shalla-Bal looks visually different from past MCU characters. She's not wearing tactical gear. She's not armored like Iron Man. She doesn't have a magical cape or a vibranium suit. She's sleek, minimal, powerful. Everything about her design says elegance, danger, and tragedy. And that visual contrast will make her stand out on screen instantly. Marvel knows that in a crowded universe, uniqueness matters. They're not just bringing us another hero in a shiny suit. They're bringing us someone who feels alien, godlike, and somehow still human. This time, the Silver Surfer won't just look cool, she's going to look iconic. Now here's the twist you might not have seen coming. Shalla-Bal's Silver Surfer doesn't just reinvent one character, she might actually be the key to saving the entire Fantastic Four reboot. Let's be honest, the Fantastic Four's film history has been rough. From 2005's family-friendly awkwardness to 2015's infamous, we don't talk about that version, they've never quite landed. The characters are legendary on the page, but on screen, the tone has always felt off. Too goofy, too dark, too bland, never quite cosmic enough. Now Marvel is doing something different. Instead of starting with Reed Richards stretching his arms and Sue Storm going invisible, they're opening the door to something much bigger. By introducing Shalla-Bal first, the MCU is setting the tone before the team even shows up. This tells fans one thing. This version of the Fantastic Four is not going to be grounded in quips and science labs. It's going to be mythic. Galactus isn't a vague cosmic threat anymore. He's real. He's coming. And now we have a herald who actually feels dangerous, complex, and emotional. That automatically elevates the Fantastic Four's mission. They're not just stopping a space villain, they're confronting a living tragedy wrapped in silver. It also gives the team something they've never had on screen, a character-driven cosmic conflict. If Shalla-Bal is the Surfer, then the Fantastic Four aren't just dealing with a threat. They're meeting a woman who has seen the end of worlds, who serves a god because she once loved her own people too much. That's not just high-stakes storytelling, that's personal. And if Norrin Radd shows up later, then Marvel will have built a legacy storyline that ties love, sacrifice, and science fiction into one massive emotional punch. For the first time, the Fantastic Four might not feel like outsiders in a superpowered world. They might finally feel like they belong in the heart of the MCU's biggest cosmic story. So let's wrap this up. The 2007 Silver Surfer looked the part but had no soul. He was silent, empty, and forgettable. He was a cosmic extra in his own movie. But Julia Garner's Shalla-Bal, she's the opposite. She's emotional, conflicted, and central to everything that's coming. Marvel didn't just cast a new face. They made a new statement. This is no longer about silver skin and surfboards. It's about sacrifice, identity, and love. It's about tragedy in space told through a character we can actually care about. By starting with Shalla-Bal, Marvel has opened the door to a deeper story, a stronger legacy, and finally, maybe, the Fantastic Four movie we've been waiting for. What do you think? Is Julia Garner's Shalla-Bal the future of Marvel's cosmic universe? Will Norrin Radd return? Or are we watching the rise of something totally new? Drop your wildest theories in the comments. Hit that like button if you're hyped for the cosmic era, and don't forget to subscribe Heroescope so you don't miss what's coming next. The stars are just getting started.